This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
This is Slava, also known as Victory, and also known as Soviet Male Fantasy. A legend first appeared over a year ago, feared by many, when its shells came out of nowhere and claiming people's broadside. Then it went silent. Many speculates it went to development hell, with how hard it is to balance and how unhealthy it is for the game, with many ships already filling such role and then some. Yet here it is returning with its former glory, and you thought Midway was the biggest comeback in the history of naval warfare. Even with the nerfs, it is still fundamentally the same ship as before. So what do you get for all the pain of replaying the same line over and over? In short, you get to experience the best example of crippling over specialization, and you thought Pan-Asian destroyers are bad enough. It has absurd range, with flat shell ballistic, incredibly small vertical dispersion, and the best AP penetration of any shells in the game. A sniper's wet dream made possible. But there are more than just punishing broadsides from 20 kilometers away. Most people like to imply that the ability to sit at full broadside ship with ease is an indication that said ship is OP. But what they won't tell you is how easy it is to counter. When all you do is angle, this thing doesn't look as intimidating as people thought. It can't even overmatch cruiser deck, and once again it lacks the shell volume that are supposed to be in line with gun caliber. This makes it very limited at what it can do despite all the hype, and the clips you saw are just collection of stupid people getting paddled, much like destroyers versus rockets, but taken for granted because it is not a carrier. To not end up like noob campers, instead of chasing broadsides, you let those broadside come to you by putting yourself in a place where people won't expect you to engage them. And that is somewhere in the middle. The closer the better. This is because people are naturally attracted to any of the two flanks, giving you easy shots especially at the start of the match. But do know that only a few maps allows such thing, and if you are unfortunate enough to be the only BB in any of the two flanks, then you can only hope for dumb enemies who would give up their push because you're in their flank. However, even by having that tight vertical dispersion, it is still subject to crappy horizontal spread, which makes it bad against ships facing directly ahead, and being vulnerable to anime shells and HE spam at range. This is a funny ship because it puts so much emphasis on long range accuracy, it probably doesn't even qualify as a BB anymore, and this isn't about the sniping part. Despite sharing the same hull design as yours truly, it lacks the durability to take damage, only 4 heals, and not a lot of HP, with stubby plating that attracts BB shells. It's like having a Tiger turret on a KV-1. The only practical armor is the side plating for bouncing obvious bad shots, which every other BB has anyway, but most other BBs, even including the second best sniper, has some ability to tank damage. This ship does not. Its performance are dictated by how far you are from the enemy, and most importantly how stupid they are. If you don't have anything broadside to shoot at, you can load HE. But then you are throwing away opportunities given if you had AP loaded instead. This ship are giving me dilemmas during my playthrough, but anyway, here is a handy chart. At this point you might be thinking, does this ship have any purposes other than staying in the back and being an asshat? The answer to that is yes. It was built around suicide prevention, keeping players from proving how good they are at brawling, by being a really bad ship at doing it. So you can have a nice relief if one of this ship shows up on your team. As long you keep it half a map away from a friendly BB, it will always have broadsides to shoot at. You can even try using range mod, because why the hell not? Maybe you'll find even more coolest people to help reinforce the true power of the Soviet Navy. Too bad this ship is just terrible for torpedoes in counter. This is how you play Stalingrad if it grew up in America. You get Expert Loader for quick HE switching, then get Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, and Fire Prevention, then get Basic of Survivability, Concealment Expert, and finally Expert Marksman. For the upgrades you get Main Armament 1, Damage Control 1, Aiming System, Damage Control 2, Concealment, then your choice of reload or range. The Slava is a ship made for statistical research on random battle retardation, and unless you are shooting at people who deliberately shows broadside for video's sake, you can skip it for now. If you want to simulate the Slava experience without busting your own nuts, get an Iowa, use the accuracy mod, and then park in the middle. You could probably do better with it, or maybe watch the Ohio guide linked below, if you're interested on a ship with a broader purpose. Now have fun sniping and getting sniped by one. Maybe it'll scare enough people to have it removed from the game.
Time for you to shut up!
Oh no, that minion died.
Yeah.